All right, welcome everybody to our latest Live Motocross podcast. As I'm joined again by former star racer Jackson Richardson, who keeps bringing the heat with his banter on the socials of late. Obviously, had a pretty choice Degan one from the weekend after his choice words. But yeah, onto the show. We're going to be talking all things Denver and preview the finale in Salt Lake City. It's going to be a pretty epic finale to what's been a pretty epic season. So before we welcome Jats, obviously massive thanks to Fly Racing, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkleen for all their incredible support, as without them, none would be possible. All right, Jats, thanks again for joining us, mate. You're feeling better. You had a bit of an illness, but you still hit the links on the weekend and, got the golf game strong. Obviously, it's going in an upward trajectory. So how are you?
Yeah, mate. I've been battling. I've been battling lately. Caught a cold off me messes, but I definitely didn't let that stop me. I still got out, played 9 holes Saturday, played 18 on Sunday. It's because there's no days off. Like every day I take off, I'm falling behind. So I'm just constantly grinding. Some days you just got to fight through the illness. So yeah, luckily I've gotten over that hurdle. I was pretty wounded yesterday, especially, but nah, luckily I'm feeling a bit better now, and just getting ready to. Hopefully, I will completely rid myself of this illness tonight because I've got a big trip coming up, so hopefully I'll be all good for it.
Yeah, mate. You obviously you can tell the listeners about the plans, mate, but we might be putting the podcast on hold for a few weeks. Just not bad timing with that week off,
Mm.
between pro motocross and all that. But yeah, it should be awesome, mate. And obviously, yeah, we've got some pretty good content throughout the season. Been 17 rounds, mate. It's been a long season, but it's gone by in a flash, hasn't it? So yeah, tell us about those plans, mate. Bit of a mid-season break.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I've got me and the missus will be heading over to Europe next week, doing a cruise down the Mediterranean, which should be mint. I haven't been to Europe before, so be cool to see it. The sights I'm kind of keen to see, but I'm more keen for just the food and the wine that I'm gonna just demolish over there on this trip. Yeah, I plan on coming back at least 5 kilos heavier. I'm gonna have to be going on a serious fasting regime when I get home for sure. But no, I'm keen for it. Like I said, haven't been to Europe, don't know what it's all about. So no, I'm keen for it, eh?
Yeah, mate, it's going to be awesome, that food. And you're spending a bit of time in Italy, so you'll just be dominating pizza, pasta, gelato, anything
Oh
you can
yeah.
get your hands on, tiramisu. You might
Oh,
squeeze some GPs in, go to some soccer games. It's going to be box office for you.
oh yeah, that should be epic. Yeah, trying to work in a GP if I can make it work because I'm on a pretty tight schedule there. Really, just with I think there's only one or two stops where I'm staying in one place for multiple nights. So yeah, it's kind of like I'm kind of on the go all the time because I go down through Italy, Spain, doing Croatia, Greece, and then finish off in France. So yeah, I'll be on the hop a bit. I've got a lot to see. This is the missus' idea. She hasn't really done a trip before, whereas like me, I've like traveled a bit already, like living in America and doing places like that. So this is her trip. So whatever she says goes, and I am just the passenger on this one. So nah, it should be good.
No, it's good, mate. You got obviously Spain's this weekend, then France and Germany at the end of May there. So start of June. So you might be able to squeeze that in, mate, but you'll have a blast no matter what, mate. But yeah, on to the racing now. And before we get on to the actual main racing, obviously that PPMX privateer race is always an awesome event. You would have loved it as a racer, no doubt, mate. But yeah, it always brings some nice action and, raises some money for these guys that just, do it tough and they're chasing their dreams. And it's a pretty costly thing being a privateer in Supercross that you know only too well, mate. So it's a really cool event to spread the love around and give these guys some financial support.
Yeah, mate, absolutely. Oh, like I would have been all over this race if this had to come around while I was living there. But I think like the last couple of years, Steve's been putting this on, which is awesome. Like obviously, Steve's a big fan of the privateer races and does a lot to help all these guys out. And yeah, it's awesome to see. And the racing's awesome too. You get these guys out on track, like you see them in. You really only get to see these guys in action in the LCQ. And like the racing in those ones is just always phenomenal. I always tell people that's pretty much normally my favorite race of the night because that's where all the action is. And then you put all this money on the line for it, and the guys just go absolutely ham sandwich. So, yeah, like the racing is always awesome at that one. And yeah, it's a good chance for these guys to like make some good money as well. The boys put on an awesome prize purse for that one. So yeah, the guys end up walking away with some good money. And then you got other guys like, you had guys like JB and AC, Adam Cincerello, Justin Braden putting in money as well for, different things. They had an air wheelie comp and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's really cool to see. And, it's a lot of good fun too.
Yeah, massively. Absolutely great fun, mate. Good input there for sure. And obviously, onto the racing now. I guess the dramatic finish with Degan and Davies is, I guess, the major talking point. Obviously, as a racer, mate, it's a lot of people are sort of in universal agreement that the pass wasn't too savage. Obviously, doing it on your teammate probably couldn't help himself. Degan, wanted to put that flex on like he does and get it done in emphatic style. But he also had that moment with him earlier in the day too, so not the greatest look for him as well. And obviously, we had the comments afterwards with Degan, which always divides opinion, but that's just him, isn't it, mate? So I guess your take on that, mate. Pass not so bad in isolation, but just the build up, the fans booing, they've kind of showed their feelings towards it, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean, he is, if he wasn't public enemy number one before this, he definitely skyrocketed his way into that position now. But I mean, like the pass in general, I saw nothing wrong with it. And I mean, Cole left the door open a fair way. And I mean, he would have had to have known that he was so close to him. So yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a. I hated to see it. I obviously wanted to see Cole Davies get another win, as I'm a massive fan of him. Like, especially over this year, like with the way he's come on, it's just awesome to see him having the success that he's been having. But yeah, unfortunately, just like maybe a little bit of a rookie error, leaving the door open, especially if you know who's behind you, then yeah, you got to guard that inside line a bit. But in the end, like the pass really wasn't that bad. Yeah, he punted him over the berm, but you're going for a championship, stuff like that's going to happen. And like the real savages get in there and they're not afraid to make contact in that position. So yeah, and then he definitely definitely loved throwing some gas on the fire after it. The fans obviously hated it. And then he gave them more reason to hate it. So, and I'm not mad at that either, to be honest. I mean, people are going to hate it and they're going to complain about it. But in the end, I really don't care about it. I think it's awesome that like we got a villain in the sport and he embraces that role and executes it to an absolute T. So I got no issues with it because he's killing it, got the championship, and he's just drawing more attention to him, which I think they want. So I mean, hey, hats off to him.
Yeah, mate, well said. Obviously, he's leaning into it hard, and I guess the drama kind of in some ways outweighs the positives with his actual riding because it's drawing away from just what an incredible and skillful rider he is on the bike, isn't it? In some ways, obviously, he's definitely a deserving champion. Probably not as emphatic title victory as we would have predicted. Obviously, there's so many different winners this season in that coast as well, but. He doesn't like people hating on him and he'll certainly let people know. And it's a good sort of motivation source for him. But I guess, credit to him for getting the championship done. And as a racer, just how impressive he is. Like, he's got great corner speed. He's even, worked on those finer refinements of staying up on the pegs through the corners, the way he navigates different sections. He's always willing to send it and do the massive rhythms and all the sections through the whoops. He gives it his all, but it's also backed by a massive body of work, fitness, skills, hard work. So, he's a complete rider on the bike and the off the bike stuff just take it or leave it for some people, but deserves praise for the whole package and the riding especially, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you don't get to this level in AMA Supercross without putting in the hard yards. And he's obviously done that. And he's been a lot smarter with his racing this year because there has been times where he's thrown it away and has sacrificed some good results. But yeah, this year and it didn't start off that hot either. He came in with a head of steam he was making noise as he does, and then the season didn't get off to a great start. Like A1, he went down in the first corner, made his way back for it, his way back to fifth, and then didn't have a real good run at San Diego. I mean, he got on the podium, but it wasn't exactly a proper Hayden Degan performance. And that's when people really start piling on, especially when you're making a lot of noise before the season starts and then you don't execute. Then the crowd really starts to get on you. And I got to give it to him, man. He weathered the storm. He stood his ground. He won races when he needed to, and he ended up being the most consistent guy in the season, which has got him to this position. So yeah, you know what? Like the work he's putting in is obviously showing, and yeah, I mean he's definitely a problem for these guys at the moment.
Yeah, mate. Obviously, yeah, he's a really interesting, polarizing character in the sport, and overall really good for it. And following in the footsteps of his father, Brian, in some ways with the antics that he carries on with, and just that trash talk. It's good value for the fans, and must be quite interesting for someone like Cole Davies, and you got Mosman and all these guys being teammates with him, because it's not really. It's a bit like the Degan show, isn't it, mate? And he showed that he's not overly respectful to some of the other riders and even his teammates. So that's something that he might want to manage. You could imagine they'll split them coasts next year. I guess Davies and Degan probably have them as their, blue chip favourites for respective coast titles. And I guess, do you see the timeline for Degan 450 outdoors next year? It'd probably suit quite well, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be the move. That would be the move that I'd be looking at making. Like putting him on the West Coast again next year, give him a chance to defend the championship, and then move up to 450 in the outdoors. I think that seems to be the way it's going at the moment with these guys when they're looking at making that move, because outdoors a little bit more forgiving on the 450 than going straight into Supercross. Like you sort of get a chance to feel how the bike works, how the bike reacts. Because I mean, it's a big change. I mean, not many guys go into the 450 class. Other than Jet Lawrence's first outdoor season, like they come in and they have success straight away. It's they take a bit of time to adjust and build. But that'd be the move I'd be looking at. And like splitting those two guys up for next year, probably the best move. Especially like just with the way that Cole Davies has come on this year, you definitely knew he was making some progress with Supercross when at first he was meant to be just doing futures, and then they put him up into the West Coast class for this year. Well, like usually you'd first think, well, you'd think like they'd put him in the East Coast to start off with, give him a bit more time, but they put him straight into the West Coast class. That just shows how much confidence they had in him to perform, like putting him straight out there. And he's just absolutely exceeded expectations this year. And I mean, I got to commend him on the way he handled the situation, like with his podium interview and everything like that after, because he could have went up there and just blasted him. And the crowd obviously would have agreed with it if he had just went up, blasted him, saying, I'll get him, this, that, whatever it is. But he came up and he just owned it, said, yeah, I shouldn't have put myself in that position. And, I just lost time. I made mistakes, and I just shouldn't have put myself in that position. And man, just the maturity of this guy, especially in a tough moment like that for a young kid who's just had one of the worst situations there at the end of a race, getting taken out by a teammate, and then having to have a camera in your face moments after it. Just the way he handled it, the dude's just a true professional, and he's got a good head on his shoulders. So I just got to commend him for that, because a lot of people would have went out of their way to absolutely blast him after the race on TV, put it that way.
Yeah, it's interesting, really cool to see him. The team and him are vindicated for that going ahead straight into the pro supercross ranks, and you can see the rapid upward trajectory he's on. He's arguably at this point the best 250 racer across all classes in supercross, isn't he, mate? So it's just so impressive what he's doing, and he's earning that respect. You could see all those 450 guys coming over to him afterwards during that tough moment where he's sitting down there, in a tough
Yeah.
moment there. So it's pretty impressive, and yeah, the dynamic between him and Deegs will spill over into outdoors. Obviously, Degan will be the man outdoors. That's going to be absolutely awesome, the 250 class out there. But, he's looking like the future's so bright, and he's already sort of asserted himself as an alpha despite only being 17, and Degan's only 19. So
Mm.
I guess, how do you compare the two of them, mate? I guess, do you reckon Cole's a better supercross rider than Degan? And also another topic that's doing the rounds is Cole Davies is arguably probably better than Jet was in his rookie supercross season. So a lot of compliments there for Cole, and he's definitely deserving of them, isn't he?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's more surprising because we got to see him racing the futures races like last year and the year before. I think he raced in it as well. And like you seen him ride and you're like, oh, like the kid can ride, but man, he's gonna have some trouble like getting into the rhythm of supercross. Because like his style, like he was a little bit erratic, like made mistakes, and you just thought, man, he's going to take a bit of time here to adjust. And then, man, I don't know what went off in his brain or just what gear he clicked into when he started this season. But from round one to where he is now is absolutely unreal. And me and Steve talked about this when I did his pod the other week, because Steve even went back. We spoke about this, and Steve was like, "Man, I went back to JT and those guys to look for footage of these futures races because he was like, am I seeing some? Did I miss something with this kid? There's no way he would have been this good, and I didn't notice." And they were like, "No, like he just worked his ass off in this offseason with the star guys, and he's just made leaps and bounds." And yeah, you could say that I think it's pretty fair to say his rookie season is better than Jet Lawrence's rookie season. Because, well, one, Jet got hurt. And I think he didn't even end up winning a race, I believe, in his first season. And he also got injured. I think that was more the COVID year, actually. He might have actually won one. I'm not quite sure. I'm just trying to think back to that COVID era that we went through, because it was during that time. I know he broke his collarbone during that season. And yeah, like just the way he's riding. I mean, I keep harping on about this guy's whoop speed. Like you just don't see 17-year-old youngsters coming into the class now and look like the best guy in the whoops in either class. Like Chase Sexton might have him and Malcolm Stewart might have him, but that's it. Other than that, he's probably the best guy.
Just crazy, isn't it?
It's just so crazy to see how he's going. And man, he looks so good. I mean, I know I'm stroking him off right now. But who isn't? I mean, the kid is unreal. And, like, this is just year one. Imagine what he's going to be like next year with a complete offseason and the team going, this is the guy.
Yeah, it's going to be good seeing those guys battling out against someone like Juju, who's had a really good season as well. Obviously, epic whoop speed, epic speed. On those harder surfaces, he's just been really good too. And, on another night with a better start, he could have been running up there too. So he's had a quality season overall. Obviously, he had that little lull in the mid-season where he got an injury and some of those softer tracks didn't suit him. But he started it off with a bang, trying to assert himself against Degan, putting a flex on him. They had that little beef stewing there. And obviously, your take on Juju as well as Marchbank's really great podium, overcome some injury issues this year. He's got the talent, the speed, the skill, but just putting it all together throughout a whole season has proven difficult. But yeah, your take on those two guys, always good to see them in there, and that they're up there for a podium every weekend if they can put it together.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, for Juju, the season he started really strong and got his win at the second round and arguably should have won the first round, but a couple of mistakes cost him. And Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that injury really took it out of him because like he probably should have won Phoenix too, to be honest, because he whole shot at both races, crashed on the first lap in both races, and then had a bad third race and had a like ended up like fourth overall or something like that. Didn't end up with a good haul of points. And then I think the round at Arlington was the next week, and that's when he picked up that injury, and he's kind of just been fighting that. And then he's kind of lost that mojo that he had at the start of the season, because I remember watching the footage from press day at A1 and seeing him and just the way he was moving around on the bike, and I was thinking, man, this kid looks confident. I reckon he's gonna have a shot at the win tomorrow. And then he ended up. I reckon he should have won that race. Just a couple of mistakes cost him. But but overall, it's still a massive jump from the year prior, and he's made a ton of leaps and gains. And then, so he'll be a real contender next year as well for that championship. And then going on to Marchbanks, it's been a little bit of an up and down season for him. Like, he missed around with a shoulder injury. He just always gets hurt at, seems like, the wrong time, because he had a good run going in his first stint at PC, and then he got banged up a bit, goes to club for a bit, gets the mojo back, gets a couple of podiums, and then gets the PC ride back, gets injured again, and then he's sort of he just can't get any momentum going. So it was good to see him put in a good solid moto on the weekend and come away with a podium. That's awesome for him. I really like him. He's soft spoken and just a dude you want to root for.
Yeah, mate. Absolute quality rider, and he seems like a good dude as well. And as we sort of keep on the theme of 250 showdown this weekend to finish the season, it's going to be an epic finale. I guess all eyes are pretty much on the east, obviously, with Degan wrapping up his coast. So who you got, mate? Vial obviously is coming in off the back of that statement win where he did silence the doubters a lot, that, he didn't show that he probably had the speed for wins, but he showed how good he was. He hung in there and he seized his chance, got past Thrasher, really impressive ride, and took advantage of RJ and Hammaker not having a crash for RJ, Hammock having that adversity off the start. So he's in a really great position. So who do you see getting the job done? Do we see Davies win and those guys fighting it out around him? Do we see Thrasher coming through again? Do you have one particular favourite? RJ probably was pretty happy for a bit more healing time, so he'll come out swinging. He always leaves it out there. But I guess Hammock has been the man in terms of speed lately, just in riding. So it's hard to go past him too. The other guys have championship winning experience. So many things at play, isn't there?
Yeah, mate. Oh, there's so much at stake this weekend, especially with these East-West rounds. Like, there's just, so many things can happen. It is just a complete toss-up when both of these coasts get together and there's a championship at stake. I mean, we've seen it happen multiple times, because, you got the fastest guy, you'll get the fastest 11 guys from each class going into a main event. So, it's just the way things shape up is just wild. And then with such a close battle, it's basically remnant to the East Coast Championship in 2017 when it was between Sabachi, Jordan Smith, and Zach Osborne, and how wild that one ended up, all the chaos that ensued just in one main event. But if I had to pick one, gun to my head, I've got to pick someone. I think I'm going with Hammaker at the moment. He's probably showed the most consistency, and he's probably got the best in terms of speed at the moment. Unfortunately, last round, he faced a bit of adversity, getting caught up off the start. Then he got caught up in a couple other moments, guys jumping across, and he almost got taken out a few times. And sometimes those races happen, where nothing can just go right. And so I think, the start's going to be key, obviously. Especially with the field being this stacked. So, I'd have to go with him. Vial's going to be tough. Just with the way he got that win at the last round, at the most important time, because he was just consistent all season, hadn't got a win yet, has two bad races back-to-back. and then comes out, gets a win, all of a sudden back in the title hunt, has the red plate going into the last round. Like, it's just crazy. Like, what a roller coaster. And then RJ will be right there. I mean, he's going to throw everything at it, as always. There's just always that chance that RJ is going to put it on the ground at some point. I hope not. I want to see all three guys have, like, no troubles with crashes, anything like that. I want to see the three of them go at it heads up and see who comes out on top.
Oh, it's going to be awesome, mate. Obviously, a dream scenario for the neutral, the fans in the stadium, the series, the promoters, and all that. So, 3 riders, 3 points. Vial on top there. It's going to be so good, mate. And obviously, we'll see what happens. You can't really predict that. You'd be a pretty brave man to hit the betting circuit on that one, mate. 450 class now, just to wrap up. Obviously, Chase Sexton, absolutely elite performance on the weekend, wasn't it, mate? Looked dialed. So good on that track. And those whoops, he was just absolutely flying through them. Probably the best ahead of Davies throughout both classes on the weekend, but he just pulled the trigger, dropped the hammer, and he wouldn't be denied. And I guess he said he saw red early, got angry when Cooper Webb sort of accidentally cross jumped him, and he rode like a man possessed, mate. So super impressive performance, wasn't it? But looks like it's just come a little bit too late, and I guess he'll lament a lot of those mistakes that cost him so many points earlier in the season, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're little mistakes at the time that just have such a compounding effect. Like those couple of races, you go back to the ones where he stalled it, he tipped over. Just those little moments, like, all add up to, like, where he is right now. And yeah, like, it was a dominating performance on the weekend, and, like, rode like a man possessed. Unfortunately, it's just come a little bit too late. And yeah, I mean, hey, saying that, the championship is not done yet. He hasn't wrapped it up, and anything can happen at this point. We've seen some wild stuff over the years, so I'm not counting it out just yet. But I mean, with Coop at the helm, I mean, it's almost impossible that he's going to let this thing slip away at this point. It'd have to take something drastic for Sexton to come out on top here with the championship. But yeah, and saying that, all that aside, he rode unreal on the weekend, just made an aggressive pass on Coop, and yeah, just like looked like he was on rails the whole time. So yeah, really good ride from him.
Hard to see any shenanigans this weekend. Chase and those guys just have too much respect, don't they?
Yeah, no, that's right. I can't see him doing anything too out of pocket or anything like that. He's not going to do anything dirty. He'll probably just get out front, ride his own race, and then Coop will just do what he has to do to bring it home.
Yeah, he still did well on the weekend. Cooper Webb obviously was feeling unwell, and I guess he valiantly rode through that issue, to still, those guys, Cooper and Mookie behind him, were absolutely dialed as well. So to hold them off, and, Justin Cooper was going to be the elite teammate that he is and not do anything silly. He had like race winning speed if he got the start. He's just been on rails lately. We sort of praised him so much, but he deserves it, doesn't he, mate? The win, if the season was a few more rounds, he might have clocked one off, but you never know. He might do it this weekend, depending on what happens, but can't be more impressed with him. He's just been so impressive, hasn't he?
Oh, man, he has been solid. It's been like 2 weeks now where he's had race-winning speed. And, yeah, just bad starts. And it was the same thing like what happened in Pittsburgh. Bad start. Malcolm Stewart and Plessinger, all those guys are ahead of him, guys that have been on the podium multiple times this season. And he just comes through and, like, from a ways back, passes them and gets another podium. I mean, just the strides he's made from the beginning of the season to where he is now is unreal. If he could just get the whoops figured out, man, he would be dangerous. But in saying that, when it comes to jumping through the whoops, there is no one better in the field. Because it seems to me like he's gone, you know what? Whoops aren't my strength. I'll sacrifice a little bit here. I've just got to make it up everywhere else. And, man, he looks so good at the moment. Like, yeah, just from where he started to where he is now is unreal for his first 450 season. It's awesome to see.
Yeah, it's been great to see his progression throughout the season. You know that he always stays healthy, he rides pretty smart, he just builds into it really cleverly. So yeah, he's looking at Obviously, only 10 points back on Roxon for that third in the standings, and then Mookie 6 points back from him. So there's a little battle there for that third in the championship. I'm sure there's some good money that comes with that, mate. So I guess you'd be backing Cooper to, edge it or get on the podium ahead of Mookie. He's just had a little bit of extra, but Cooper Webb did really well to hold off both of them as well because Mookie was charging in that main too. So he'll be coming out swinging to try and get that third in the championship, won't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be, the battle will really be for the third position on the podium. Yeah, because pretty much like after that, like after third place on the podium, you don't really get any bonuses. So those two lads will be fighting it out hard, trying to get that third spot on the podium because they're pretty close on points right now. And I mean, like now that Roxon's out, the third place spot on the box is up for grabs. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you got to give the upper hand to Cooper at the moment, especially it seems like on the hard pack tracks, he's like really come alive. So yeah, it'll be interesting. They might have to keep a camera on them through the whole main event if Sexton or Webb stretches a lead out front. Take the camera back to them and see what happens there.
Nah, it'll be good racing. There's some nice subplots to follow for the fans for sure. And I guess Salt Lake City, have you been there, raced there, mate? What's your sort of memories of that track? And obviously the altitude as well always throws in another spanner these guys have got to deal with as well. But should be a pretty good finale, mate, to cap off what's been an awesome season. So just any predictions as well while we're here, mate? You've had some couple of good bankers this season, mate.
Yeah.
So what do you got for us?
Yeah, so I actually never got to race at Salt Lake City. It hadn't been or it might have been on the calendar actually. I must have just been racing the East Coast the 2 years that that Salt Lake City was there because they went away from it for a couple of years, I think. But yeah, the altitude definitely makes a difference. I mean, I could definitely see it on the weekend just with the way the bikes accelerated out of the starts. They didn't get out of go like they normally do. And like for those who haven't like experienced it, like it is a massive difference, especially for me when I raced at Thunder Valley. I'd never experienced anything like that. Like guys you got to do a start in first gear to begin with, just so the thing gets out of the gate. And then it's almost like you're in slow motion, kind of. Like that's how it sort of feels because the bike, it feels like it's lost about 10 horsepower and things just happen like so much slower. It's bizarre as. And then, yeah, especially doing it at Supercross, like, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, yeah, as far as predictions go, for the 250 class with it being combined this weekend, I mean, I'll go Cole Davies for a win. I think he just finishes it on a high, gets a bit of retribution after last weekend, finishes strong. I'm going to go Hammock a second, and then he'll get the championship on that one. And then I'm going to say Degan third probably. That'd be Degan may or may not get a good start. He hasn't had the best of starts in these last two East versus West rounds. So yeah, I reckon he'll make a charge from the back, probably get on the podium there. But yeah, Davies first, Hammock second, Degan third.
Yeah, the 450s.
Oh yeah, 450. Usual at the moment it'll be Sexton, Cooper second probably, I reckon, and then Webb third. Webb will bring it home in third and get the turkey on championships.
Yeah, mate. And then outdoors, obviously, be cool to see how he goes outdoors. The excitement will ramp up. You'll be in Europe as that kicks off, mate. But just that's going to be so good. 450 and 250. It's going to be unreal with Prado, Lawrence Brothers, Tomac. Oh, it's going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be an epic outdoor season. Yeah, like we were talking about last week, it's usually like everyone kind of gets through Supercross, and then if they're pretty banged up after it, then they'll sit out a couple outdoors rounds or something like that. But now, like with a lot of the top guys being injured, and now they're coming back for the outdoor season, and so like it is shaping up to be an absolute blinder. So yeah, that 450 class is going to be absolutely stacked this season, And then, yeah, like getting Prado in the mix, like his first year's going to see how he does. Like, yeah, there's a lot of talking points. So, yeah, I'm keen to see how that turns out. And then, yeah, obviously the 250 class will be a belter as well. Davies in there, couple of new guys, and then, Danger Boy defending the championship. We'll see how that goes for him. Yeah, it's going to be epic.
Oh, I can't wait, mate. It's going to be so good. And obviously, any final thoughts from you, mate? Obviously, get through the week of work, maybe get a last swing of golf in before you head to
Oh,
Europe, mate. And I guess if we don't do these podcasts while you're away, we'll definitely resume them in earnest when you get back from the trip, mate. So, yeah, any final thoughts? What's the week ahead look like, and how excited are you for the trip?
oh, mate, I am. Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit for this one. I'm keen to get over there and experience it. And yeah, so I leave on Monday. So yeah, this weekend I have just got that much golf booked in at the moment. Well, we got on Friday we actually got the day off work because one of the it's Master Builders Golf Day, so it gets like all the construction companies together, and then you have a round of golf for a day. So I'll be doing that. I'm playing 18 on Friday,
Oh.
18 on Saturday, and then 18 on Sunday. So I'm definitely getting my fix in over this weekend because I won't be able to take the clubs over on the cruise, unfortunately. Otherwise, if there was a simulator on the boat, I think I'd be in that thing constantly. I might not even see the Coliseum or anything. I'll just be like, oh, yeah, nah, cool. I'll just be in the sim.
Oh, that's awesome, mate. No, another cracking podcast, and hope you have a blast, mate. It'll be awesome. It'll be so good to go over there, mate, and have a bit of downtime as well, and just enjoy the sights and the food and the culture, mate. So, wish you all the best, and obviously, massive thanks to all the fans too for listening in, and obviously, big thanks to the sponsors in Fly Racing, Dirt Store, and Fuchs Silkerland for all their incredible support. As without them, none of this would be possible. All right, thanks again, Jats, mate. Been another cracking podcast. All the best, and we'll catch up soon.
Awesome, mate. Cheers. Thank you.
No worries, mate. Have a good